Jennifer, I'm going to turn it over to you. However, I am staying in the class. So if you need anything,
Okay.
you can speak out to me specifically and I'll hop up and help you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. Hi everyone. I wish I could see all of your morning smiling faces, but I cannot. I had a family emergency, so I had to stay home, but I thought it was very important to be here this morning to do this confidence in repair presentation. So, first of all, I want to, like I said, I just want to thank you for being here because this is the first class of the morning. And if you're anything like myself, it's not your favorite class. So, hopefully, I can change that by the end of the presentation. So, of course, you're here for confidence in repair. If you're not, then you should go ahead and exit because that is what we're going to talk about. We're talking about confidence and how we repair that confidence and how it gets broken. So, we're just going to do a simple exercise at first. And like I said, I can't see you. So, what I have to do is trust that you're going to be accountable and do what I ask you to do. So, what I want you to do is raise your hand as high as you can. We have some hands raised.
You do.
All right, great. Now raise them just a bit higher. Did we get some higher hands raised? Yeah, see that? I asked you to raise your hand as high as you can. And I know I can't see you, but I bet every single person in here had a little bit more in their tank. So that's exactly how confidence works. Okay, that's how confidence works. We think we've hit the ceiling on how much we have to give, but we have so much more. Even after I asked you the second time, I'm sure you could figure out a way to raise it even higher. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to build on that confidence and how to reach it all the way to the ceiling, or yes, reach it all the way to the ceiling and not let those things that hold our confidence back hold us back. All right, so of course, I have to introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Jennifer Chester. I am a BMET 3 for Intellis Health. I am also the author and creator of Bella the BMET. Um, it is a character that I created to introduce kids to the field of HTM, as well as just introducing them to technology as a whole. I'm also the founder of Next Gen Tech Mom's Mobile Discovery Museum. As you can see in the picture there on the left side, I'm not sure if it's your left or my left, but anyway, on the left side, um, with the kids in it. That is what I do for my mobile discovery museum. I just bring medical devices, all kinds of devices, really, 3D printers, different technology so that the kids can get their hands on it. And it's really fun because you can see all kinds of sparks going off. They get really excited about learning new things. All right, so let's get right into it, right? So, what is confidence? What is confidence? So, confidence, as you can see here, is what I believe is trust in self. It's the I can do it spirit, that thing, that internal voice inside of you that says, I got this. So, the Merriam Webster definition of confidence is a feeling of self assurance and a belief in one's abilities or state of being certain. Does everybody in here have a little confidence? I can't hear you answering. Hopefully, we have some shaking heads. Okay. So, everybody in here has at least a little bit of confidence, right? So, we're going to talk about what confidence is even more in even more depth. So, here we go.
Jennifer, I will say if there's audio, it is not playing on our end.
Oh no, there's no audio. Okay. Okay, so we'll stop the video then if you can't hear it. There's no point in doing that, right? All right. So basically, the video is just talking about what confidence is and how we start out with confidence, depending on our genetics, but also we are building confidence along the way, right? So when we make mistakes, we're actually building on that confidence because it's how we recover from those mistakes, whether we have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset really makes a big difference in how we grow from the situation. So, if we make a mistake and get fixed in our head that we can't do it just because we made that mistake the one time or we failed that one time, that's not growing on our confidence. If we have a That's the fixed mindset. If we have a growth mindset, then we actually say, I'm going to try it again. There's a part of the video where she's shooting a basket in a basketball in a basketball hoop. And when she misses it the first time, if you just walk away, you'll never know if you could actually make it. You have to keep shooting. All right. So now that we talked about what confidence is, let's talk about how does that confidence get broken, right? So, like I talked about before, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. We have to think about all of the things that happen on our jobs or in our positions that cause our confidence to get broken. These are just a couple of examples, like I put making a mistake on a critical repair. Say, you didn't put something back correctly, or you just didn't know about the equipment, or any of those things. Or another example, struggling with new or unfamiliar technology. Sometimes we get new technology on site, or we get new devices on site that we've never seen before. And we, as BMATs or an HTM industry, we have to be kind of a jack of all trades. We have to know about a lot of things. We have to know a little about a lot, right? You could struggle with unfamiliar technology or something that you've never seen before. An example for me is recently I got a work order for a CR reader. I've never dealt with a CR reader before, but I just had to call in some help. But those are just examples. Number three is just getting stuck on a job. Like I had a guy when I first started this job who stayed the night at the clinic because he didn't want to call and ask for help. He stayed all night long trying to fix a dialysis machine. And that was a hit to his confidence, right? Because he was not the same biomed after he left that morning. So, what are the emotional impacts of broken confidence? Some of the emotional impact of the broken confidence is the anxiety we get, right? When we're not able to solve a problem, or even let's talk about the other side of it, having to communicate with people that weren't very nice before or had, put us in a situation where we didn't feel great. We felt kind of, um, messed up after leaving a communication situation with that person. So it gives you anxiety the next time. So the next one would be self doubt. That's another impact that broken confidence can cause. It's just now, since you made that one mistake, like I talked about with the basketball, you made one shot and you missed it. So now you doubt you're going to make every single shot after that. So that the self doubt sets in. We also have the overthinking or paralysis. This one's a big one for me, where you just get so wrapped up in, your failure or something that has happened that it almost freezes you. You're afraid to move, or you start overthinking about what's going to happen if you fail again. So those are really big um, emotional impacts from broken confidence. All right. So if you've ever been in any of my presentations before, you know that I love a good game. So we're going to have game time throughout our presentation today. This game is called Raise Your Hand If. It's the confidence check-in game. So I'm going to ask you a question, and if that applies to you, then you raise your hand. So I have a couple of game rules. Okay. As you can see, my game rules. The first rule is we listen and we don't judge. This is a safe space. We're all professionals here and we've all made mistakes. So if somebody raises their hand, I don't even want to hear anybody saying anything about it. And if you didn't raise yours. So we listen and we don't judge. Everybody repeat after me. We listen and we don't judge. Exactly. All right. Number two, raise your hand. It's as easy as that. When I read a statement and it applies to you, I just want you to raise your hand. You can also look around and see if there's somebody else in the room that might also have that same statement might apply to. So it should be super fun, just to add a little fun to the presentation today. All right. You guys ready for the first one? Raise your hand if you've ever walked into a room and forgot what you were there for. There's some hands raised. All right. Well, that my hand is raised. You can't see my hand, but it is raised super high because it happens to me all the time. That's what happens when you're 40. So, thank you guys for participating in that. All right. So we're going to go back into the repairing our confidence. We talked about what confidence is. We talked about how does that confidence get broken. We talked about the implications of broken confidence. What are some things that happen with broken confidence? The anxiety, the overthinking, the self-doubt. So now we're going to go right into talking about how to repair that confidence. I have come up with a three-step biomed approach to three-step repair framework for repaired confidence in true biomed style. All right. So the first step to repairing the confidence is diagnose the root cause. Diagnose the root cause. So what are some things that we would think that could be the root cause for a confidence break? Does anybody have anything? I can't see them, so. So any of let's see. Sorry.
Like a failed repair.
I'm sorry, say it again.
A failed repair.
A failed repair. Yep. Have you ever uh done a repair and walked down the hallway about 5 feet and then the nurse is like, hey, it's not working again. That's a root cause. But when I say diagnose the root cause, what I mean is like what was what was the cause of it, saying like was it because um I felt some type of way when the nurse asked me to come back, like let's see if I could go to my next slide. I think the information is all right. So what happened? What can I control and what can I learn? So the root cause is basically what happened, right? So we're talking about what happened to you. Like you said, the repair wasn't done. It happened. I mean, it happened again as soon as we walked down the hallway. So then, oh, sorry, I have another raise your hand if. All right. So sorry, guys. I was prepared to do this in person, and I'm like, this is a little different. All right, so we're gonna do this. Raise your hand if though. We are gonna do it. All right, so raise your hand if. Raise your hand if um you've ever fixed a machine like a rock star and nobody saw it but the ceiling tiles. Meaning you fixed it and nobody even saw you fix it. You found a complicated problem and you did that thing, but nobody even saw you do it. Nobody can, give you a round of applause. It's not, like the movies where there's people, nurses lined on the side of the hallways giving you a round of applause as you walk away from the fixed machine, right? Um, I've done it. I fixed stuff and nobody even knew that I fixed it. All right.
I don't like
So I'm sorry, say again.
I don't like it that way.
Do you? Yeah. I mean, I kind of like, I mean, I can agree with that to some degree. I mean, but sometimes it's nice to be appreciated, right? All right. So back to our three-step repair framework. So our step two is to apply the right fix. So, like we said, if we have a broken piece of equipment that we didn't know how to fix it, there was something wrong with it, and we made the mistake. How do we apply the right fix? What is the right fix? Let's talk about some of the things that could be the right fix. Is it because I'm not trained? Is it because I needed my service manual and I needed to go over it a few more times? Is it because I needed more mentorship? Maybe I needed somebody there to like help me walk through it. Or maybe I just needed somebody to, to call and like give me a confidence boost before I started working on those machines. Or let's say that the root cause is a bad conversation that you had with somebody who's not satisfied, with what's going on. What would be the right fix for that? Maybe I need to maybe I need to visit my brag book of all of the things that I've done well. Maybe I need to talk to somebody, a friend that can boost my confidence. These are all the things that you can do to apply the right fix. So you want to make sure you, just like any piece of equipment, we diagnose the problem. So is it a lack of education? Is it a lack of is it a lack of like, cheerleading? Is it a lack of um, leadership? Any of those things. And then we want to apply the right fix. And when we apply the right fix, that means that give a mentor a call, open a service manual, sign up for a training, show up to a conference so you can meet other people that have the same kind of issues as you do and feel rest assured that you're not the only one. These are all ways that you can apply that fix. All right. So again, education, mentorship, review manuals. All right. One more, or not one more, another raise your hand if. Raise your hand if you've ever been in the middle of a repair and you've had to Google the service manual. Are there some hands raised? Please tell me there are some hands raised. And mine is not the only one. All right. So moving right on to our step three in our three-step repair framework. Our step three is going to be run a system test. So what does run a system test mean? That means that you need to start thinking about the things that you are really good at, like running a system test, remembering who you are as a biomed. Remember that I'm trained. Remember that I've been doing this for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. Remember that I've been doing this for 5 years. Remember that I have been to the training for this device. So we're just running a system test, remembering that, like getting rid of that self doubt, right? All of those thoughts that you had about what happened and how it tore down the confidence. Remember that you may have not fixed that dialysis machine, but you fixed five before that. So why is that all of that discounted when you made one mistake or if you can't fix one, right? So I'm using fixed as an example. Would it be better if I use like communication for those in the room? I don't know if everyone's, out in the field. Yes, no. Um, anyway, but the point that I'm trying to make is that we need to celebrate our wins too. Not always dwell on the mistakes that we've made, and especially it's really difficult to celebrate your wins when you're right in the moment. I feel like when you're sitting in the mud, it's really hard to like feel clean, right? It's hard to feel like well, I am really good at this and I did this right. But we have to start practicing those things. We have to start making it a practice, because if we don't, then we'll stay stuck in the mud. All right. So, like I said, running a system test, setting yourself up for early wins, maybe doing some easy repairs in the morning before you have to do the harder repairs, so you can set yourself up for a confidence buildup, right? Practicing confidence like a skill. Like I said, it sounds really silly, but just having writing down your wins, making sure that you keep your certificates very nicely. I don't know if sometimes when you go in like a doctor's office, they have all kinds of certificates on the wall reminding them of how educated they are, or how many schools they attended. We can do that same thing. We just have to remember how many things that we have done well, and maybe even writing it down in a book, or making a little photo album of all the things that you've done well within the industry. All right. If you haven't figured it out, it's a trend. After every slide, I have a raise your hand if. So the next one is raise your hand if you've ever second guessed yourself on a repair only to realize you wasted time because you were right the first time. Are there any
Oh,
hands raised?
about everybody.
Not everybody. Yep. So that's to the point that everybody has these things. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, you know, goes through a very similar situation. I know myself, I'm considered field service, so I very rarely get to see my team. And sometimes it can feel very isolating. It feels like I'm on an island. So it's nice when you get to go to conferences like this and feel and get to talk to people. And when you meet with other biomeds like yourself, or the other HTM industry people like yourself, and realize that you're not the only one going through some of the things you're going through out in the field. All right. So it is very early. But I'm just gonna go ahead and start with my key takeaways and my closing takeaways. So hopefully you'll get some time to get some more coffee before the next class. And ask me some questions too. So basically one of the key takeaways is, my call to action is, I want you to realize that confidence can be lost, but it can be rebuilt as well. It's not permanent. So when we're down on on ourselves, when we're feeling like, oh man, and I mean, sometimes it can be stuff after stuff after stuff. I don't know if you guys have dealt with that, but me, when stuff happens, it doesn't just happen in one, right? It happens like there's this happens, then that happens, then that happens, and then it's like 17 things have happened, and I'm sitting in the mud, like I said, covered in the mud, and I don't know how to pull myself out of it. I'm in that paralysis stage. So I want you to remember when you're in those times that this, you're not completely lost. Everything can be rebuilt. It's not a constant state of, I can't do it. You can do it. You just have to find that little extra more, like we talked about when raising your hands. The next thing is, even the best make mistakes. As a matter of fact, if they didn't make mistakes, then they didn't learn very much. So even the people way up high on the chain, even the people that are, all the way up there, they've all made mistakes. We all make mistakes. But what you do next is what matters. Okay. What you do next, how do you recover from that mistake? Do we just sit in the fact that we don't know something, or we just don't understand it, so forget that piece of equipment, I'm never touching it again? No, we go and we read the manual, we go and we sign up for the training, we go and we do things to amplify our education, to increase our knowledge so that we don't run into that mistake again or that problem again. So in this field, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to be willing to grow. So we don't have to be perfect. And I know that's a cliche statement, but I think that a lot of biomeds sometimes we feel like we need to be, because we feel like we need to make sure the repair is correct. We need to make sure it's right, and we do. We absolutely do. But we have to realize that when we're first starting, or when we're in a situation that we never been in before, that we have to be willing to grow. We can't just sit in that. We have to be willing to grow. All right. So now that we've talked about confidence, we've talked about how it gets broken, we talked about how to repair that confidence. What is one action that you can take to rebuild your confidence after a setback? Anybody?
Well, as mentioned earlier, you can begin with some smaller repairs to have some successes under your belt before you go back to tackling your large problems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The small wins, right? Yeah. Anybody else got some confidence rebuilding? No?
Honest reflection,
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
honest reflection. When you look back on what you did, be honest with yourself.
Yes. Yes. And that's very true. I love that one because it's so important to be honest with yourself and to actually make the correct fix, right? So that's what I was talking about with the diagnose and repair. Being honest with yourself, knowing that, hey, I know nothing about this CR reader. I don't know anything about it. So what are my next steps at this point? The staff is looking at me like, hey, can you fix this CR reader? And I'm like, hey, how about you teach me how to turn it on? you know? So it's just being honest with yourself about what it is that you need, what you need to do moving forward and what happened in that situation. Absolutely. Um, Anybody else? If there's nobody else, then I just want you to, I don't care if you just save it in your brain, if you write it down somewhere. I just want you to write one down or to think of one, to think about that the next time you're in a situation. And I know like you may not be in it right now, so this is a it doesn't hit you the same way. But I think that when you're in it, I'm hoping that you will remember that it doesn't have to end on Indeed, or you know what I'm saying? Like you can actually rebuild and start to grow, from your situations.
I have one.
All right.
I have one
I'm
more.
sorry. Go ahead.
I just document what didn't work and what did, so that you going back to, you can find it, and other coworkers can also see, oh, well, this is what we saw, this is what we tried, and this is what worked. Sometimes in a large
Absolutely.
line, you have a lot of people with a lot of skill in a lot of different areas, but if you don't get it somewhere where the next guy can find it, or the next gal, uh, then it's just stuck with you. And if you're not there in the middle of the night,
Yep.
you know,
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And that's what I mean by like, I do feel like calling that mentor too, that might have an answer that's been, working on the machines for 30 years and you've only been there for 5. But also, like you said, the note, I mean, that's very important. Documenting that, um, that something went wrong or that you had an issue, and not to be scared to do that, because it may be something that you don't want to say, but everybody makes that mistake, right? You know what I'm saying? Or somebody else may make the same mistake you did, like, oh, I figured out that the wires were crossed, whatever, something like that. And it may have been like, oh, well, that was really dumb of me, but somebody else may have made that same mistake, and that's why it was shooting that error code, you know? And then they can look back at the notes and say, oh, well, maybe I put this together wrong. So absolutely, I think that that's an excellent point. So before I move on, I think there's a delay, so that's why I'm trying to wait for you guys. If you have anything else, anybody else? All right, I'm gonna move on to the next slide. All right, so um this is actually the end of my presentation. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask me questions. You can ask me questions about anything. It doesn't have to be about the presentation. But, if you have questions about the presentation now, this is the time.
Is this the first time you've had to do this remotely?
Yes, this is the first time I've had to do this remotely.
Uh, I thought it was a very nice presentation, but I think it's one of those where, it's probably a little bit confidence bruising, not being able to read the room and see people's reactions and faces.
Yes, it is. But I mean, this is a learning experience for me. It has definitely been. It's different from anything I've ever done because usually if I do a remote presentation, it's like a panel thing where everybody's online, so you can see people's faces and everything, and it is definitely challenging not being able to read the room. So, but I certainly appreciate you guys sitting through it and allowing me to do this and allowing me to go through this learning process. So,
Oh, I thought you did great. To be clear.
thank you, thank you.
I have a
All
question.
right,
Hey, Jennifer.
yeah,
I'm on the coordinating side, so I send the engineers out. And so I'm just thinking, what is the best way for someone like me to support you guys while you're on site, or if you need something, or it's late at night, you do want to call someone, but you're not sure who to connect with. Um, what would be helpful for you guys while you're there?
um, I think that just creating as much how can I like I know for me it's nice to be able to like reference some kind of document of who I can call or who I can reach out to and um just creating as many resources as possible for people to be able to reach out to because it really depends on where they are so
Thank you.
mhm. All right, so
I
uh-huh.
appreciate you so much. Before everybody starts heading out, I do want to remind everyone on the survey, if you haven't had the opportunity to fill that out, please do. That's how you'll get CE credits. There's also a QR code. I'll put it up here if you'd like to scan that and fill out the speaker survey. Jennifer could use this as a confidence boost and an
Yes,
opportunity
thank
for
you.
any feedback or comments to help her with any in-person or virtual presentations moving forward. But I want to give you a big thank you because what Jennifer did today, she didn't leave us hanging, and I appreciate that. Sometimes life throws us curveballs. You get lemon. You hear the cliche. You got to make lemonade. So while she had to
Yeah.
stay where she is, we certainly appreciate are indebted that she woke up early this morning and we figured out a way that we could still make this presentation happen for the HTM Mixer. So for that, I am very grateful and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And before I go, I also want to thank you, Jamie, so much for being there for me because and putting this together and helping me make sure that I could still be here today because it was really important for me to be here today. I also want to thank Kim. I don't know if she's in the room, but I want to thank Kim also, Kim Rowland, for her help last night as well. So thank you guys so much for coming to the presentation. I'm so sorry that I can't see all of your beautiful faces and talk to you each in person. But I do have one more. Raise your hand before you go. Raise your hand if you enjoyed this presentation, but you're ready to go get a cup of coffee before the next one starts.
Everybody put two hands up for you on that one.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. I know a couple of y'all wanted to meet her in person. You will be at MD Expo Dallas, correct?
I absolutely will be at MD Expo Dallas, even if I have to crawl there. I will be there.
Well, same shameless plug. If you'd like to meet Jennifer in person, mdexpo.com. TechNation.com is the website where you can get more information. Don't worry, that event is free for you to attend to. I'll be happy to tell you more if you're interested. With that, I hope to see you at the next 9:30 education time spot. Enjoy your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jennifer, you're a rock star. I appreciate you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. I feel so much better now.
Good.
So,
I am going to hang this up, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna disconnect you, and then I will
okay.
check in with you via text.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.